Construction on the Coastal GasLink pipeline is underway again in northern British Columbia. It's the natural gas pipeline running through Wet'suwet'en territory that's caused so much tension. Work was paused over the last few days while negotiations took place. And yesterday, there was a breakthrough. A draft agreement has been reached on land rights and title for the Wet'suwet'en. But it's a separate matter from the natural gas pipeline project. Sarah MacDonald is at the worksite near Houston, BC. Sarah?
Donna, work has now resumed in northern BC on the heels of that proposed landmark agreement that could have major implications for this province and the country. With work and RCMP patrols now resuming on the Indigenous land at the epicenter of national dialogue on rights and title.
The respect has to go right from top to bottom and throughout the country.
It remains to be seen what impact, if any, a potentially precedent-setting draft agreement reached between government officials and one faction of leadership of Wet'suwet'en Nation could have on unrest persisting across the country. Because these talks were about much more than just a solitary polarized pipeline and more than 2 decades in the making.
It is building on the Supreme Court decision. It is about rights and title.
A continuation of negotiations called for in a landmark Supreme Court ruling, only now coming to fruition.
Delgamuukw 1997 has been sitting there for the past 23 years or so. We are just picking it up.
If it is finalized, that agreement could have major implications for companies looking for access to Indigenous land and resources. But it's not retroactive. And it won't directly impact the lucrative project dividing this powerful nation.
The project that's in place now, the permits have been in place, it has been permitted, it has been approved, and it's underway.
This natural gas pipeline, fully permitted and backed by government and band councils and many Wet'suwet'en people.
People just want to work. Our community wants to work, and I think the benefits are going to be really important to our people.
Who now hold the power when it comes to signing on the dotted line. The nation's clans will now review the details of that draft deal in the coming days and weeks before coming to a consensus on it. The provincial and federal governments said to be ready and willing to sign it, so long as the Wet'suwet'en people are. Donna.
All right, Sarah MacDonald near Houston, BC. Thank you. That potential deal in northern BC has not brought down all the rail blockades. In fact, the opposite happened today, at least temporarily. A new blockade went up along a commuter rail line this afternoon in Montreal. Our Mike Armstrong is there. Mike, what happened?
Well, we got a press release sort of mid-afternoon saying that there was a blockade at this overpass behind me. And sure enough, we found when we got here about 40 protesters on the overpass, as well as about a dozen police officers, police cars. Now, this was not an Indigenous group. This was a group that says it was inspired by Indigenous resistance. They were here for about 3 hours. They blocked both freight and commuter lines. Now, they acknowledge that there was a tentative deal over the weekend in BC, but they say there's still no agreement on the Coastal Gas Pipeline, and that's why they were here. The demonstrators left after talking to police at about 5 o'clock, so they were here for about 3 hours. Now, the Kahnawake rail blockade continues on the south shore of Montreal. That's 22 days and counting. There is a meeting tonight at the Longhouse in that community. Everyone from the community has been invited there. The question is whether they take it down or not, but to answer that question, they have to decide whether the progress that was made is enough or whether they have to have a resolution before they pull it down. Donna?
All right, Mike Armstrong, thanks.